guys, and welcome to the world of Beth. As you can see, today is another makeup day, and I know many of you may know this already, but I live in Spain, and Spain is very famous for its red wine Rioja. So I thought I would do a red wine inspired makeup look. And I was having a play around with it last night and I really liked how it came out. So I thought I'd record it for you this morning so that you could have a look and maybe have a go yourself. Now, this is a very statement eye, so I would recommend saving this one for a big night out. It's not your typical day wear. So you don't actually need that much for this particular look, but it does take a little bit of time. So remember, if you're following along at home, pause the video between each step and do both eyes at the same time so that it saves you some time. So let's remember our checklist first of all before you starting. You need your warm water with some No Tears shampoo so that you can clean your brushes as you go along. You're going to need to do that a lot today. So you will also need your makeup towel to dry off the brushes, and some kitchen roll to first of all clean off the colour, make sure there's no colour left on your pigment, on your brushes. You're also going to need a primer, and it must be a white one, and if you have got a cream one as well that's face coloured, but that's optional. The white one is the important. You will need a liquid eyeliner. You will need the Gorgeous Me Beauty Glazed palette, and you will need a highlighting powder. I will leave links to all of these in the description box below, so if you want to get the exact products you can. You're also going to need, if you want, a purple eyeliner. I used a purple eyeliner, but you can use a purple eyeshadow if you don't have a purple eyeliner. You're also going to need a few brushes. And again, I will leave a link to the brushes that I use personally. Remember, everything I use is really cheap. It's beauty on a budget here. I don't believe in spending lots to make yourself look good. So you will need your eyelash and eyebrow contouring brush 12, your medium shader brush 2, otherwise known as Beth's favourite brush, your blending brush 7, contour brush 9, and angled shading brush 4. I will leave all of those in the box because I don't expect you to be going, I've got all my brushes here and ready. Okay, so we're going to get started because obviously, as I said, this one looks lovely but does take a little bit longer. So I'm going to start with some primer on my eye first, and this is the cream primer. I'm a big fan of the cream primer, but again, if you've got more hooded eyes, or your eyes are slightly more wrinkled, or you have more fine lines, go with a liquid primer. But this is really just so that your eyes are nice even colour, because even if you've put foundation or BB cream or whatever you've used, I've just used BB cream today, even if you've used that, your eye is usually a multitude of colours, so a base primer is a good idea so that you get the same colour over your whole eye. Okay, so we're going to start today with our eyelash and eyebrow brush. Now, if you take a look here, you will see the colours come up on the palette that we're going to use, and as you can see, there aren't that many. So we're going to start out by, whoops, sorry, wrong page. We're going to start out by using this lovely medium shader brush 2, and we're going to take the nude colour number 1, blow off the excess, and just create a base that locks in place your eyeshadow base, your eyeshadow primer. There you go. And we're going to go up quite high, so make sure you go up to your eye socket bone with both your primer and this base colour. Okay, then clean it off because you'll be needing it. Okay, so Now we're going to take our contouring brush, and this one just on your tongue, just like that. So now we're going to take our number 2 colour, which is this gorgeous kind of burgundy colour, which I think is the most wine looking colour on there. So now what you're going to want to do is, using the contour brush, you're going to draw a line like eyeliner. Again, don't worry if it's a little bit messy, because there's going to be lots of blending. So it doesn't have to be a perfectly straight line, as long as the colour's dark. And you're going to take this up like you would eyeliner. Again, don't worry if it's a little messy, it doesn't really matter, because there's going to be a lot of blending. And you're going to make this line quite thick, because this is going to be your baseline here. Okay. It's at this moment you can remember that I'm not a professional, because I've already forgotten the first step before you've done any of whatever I've just said. Masking tape. Masking tape. Underneath your eye, because this red pigment is so bright and you don't want it to ruin your foundation that you've spent ages applying. And there's the card to the foundation video if you haven't watched it already. So yeah, make sure you've got some nice masking tape on your face to keep those lines straight. There we go. Okay, so now obviously I've got masking tape all over my face, but right, back to, what have I done with my brush? I'm not good without coffee. Literally, I had it, now it's gone. I'll probably edit this out. Dum, da, dum, da, dum, da, dum, dum. Okay. I haven't moved. I don't know how I can lose brushes when I literally haven't moved from this spot. Where is it? Ah, it's there. Right in front of me. Sorry for wasting your time. Bad Beth. Okay, so we're going to go back and actually get on with the eyeshadow now. So we're going to go back to that colour that we've just been using, and we're going to draw a line up onto your socket bone and down into the corner to meet the edge of your eye. So you should have this nice bright kind of purplish burgundy colour outline. Okay. So now, as you see, you should have this outline around your eye. We're going to make that a little bit thicker. So take it up a little bit higher, because we're going to make it darker underneath, and we want this one as the colour to blend into, because it's really the winey kind of colour. It's the afternoon and now I want a glass of wine. It's the summer. I think day drinking's acceptable. It was during the lockdown. Okay, so like I said, we're going to keep this line quite thick. So make sure you get it into your lash line, because you will need to get it there. We're not going to put any eyeshadow underneath our eye today, unless you haven't got a purple brush, a purple eyeliner, in which case you can use the colour number 3 on here. So, wash your brush off. Okay, so now you're going to take Beth's favourite brush, which is the medium shader brush 2, and you're going to stick with that same number 2 colour now that you've got the outline, but you're just going to make it slightly darker and slightly softer. And take it all the way in. So you've now got this thicker line to work with. And like I said, we are going to blend this later, so don't worry if it looks thick straight away. Now this is the really important point, okay? You've got this space here on your eye, and you're going to take the brush that you've just been using to blend a little, but very gently put some colour in the middle. We don't want a lot, so just tap, 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 tap. We don't want a lot of colour in there because we want to keep it this predominantly lighter colour that we see here. Tap, 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 tap. Okay, so we've got a little bit of colour in there, nothing much. And you're going to clean that brush off again because you're going to come back to it in a little while. And now we're going to go on to our third colour, which is that gorgeous dark kind of plum purple colour. And now what we're going to do is we're going to follow the line that we had before, but to the lower part. So we're not going up as high as we did before, so we're going over that original line. And this is going to give us this beautiful blended colour here. So you're going to follow this line down, and again here, keep it to the inside. So we're kind of making our inside pattern. Now when you get to the lower lashes, you want to go right down to the lower point into the eyelash line, and the same down to the corner. Now you may need to do this a couple of times to get the colour nice and dark, so that you can definitely see a contrast between the two colours that you had before. But like I said, it may look scary when you're first doing it, but when we finish blending, it won't. So don't worry. What we want to make sure is that we've got this lovely space in between, which is a much lighter colour, because that's what's going to allow us to blend with our highlighting powder in a minute. Okay, so I think that's dark enough for now. So pop your brush into the water to let it clean, because we are going to come back and use it again. And these colours are obviously very strong pigments, so make sure all the pigment is off for these ones. Now this is where you need to take your white primer. Now obviously it's a white highlighter. You don't want to get this onto the colours because you're going to ruin your primer. So take the back of your hand and just rub some primer on the back, and that's it. That's all you need to do. You don't want to put your primer onto your eye because you're going to turn your white primer pink or green or blue or whatever you're going to use. So take a clean finger, rub it into the primer area that you've just put on your hand, and just shade in the center of your eye. Go back to the primer as you need it. But we just want to make sure that there is a very distinct different colour between the two lines that we've drawn and the centre. Okay, so 3 I think should be enough. Okay, so now we're going to go back to the contour brush, and we're going to go back to that third colour just to clean up any lines where the white may have gone over, because obviously if you're like me, fingers aren't exactly as accurate as they could be. We're just going to tidy up that line a little bit. Okay, and then clean your brush again. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take our angled shading brush, number 4, and we're going to go over to our highlighting powder. And this is what's going to give us this lovely shimmer that I've already got on my other eye. So just take some on here. And then only into the center of the eye where we've just put that white primer. So you should now have a very stark, shimmery color in the middle, contrasting against the purple and the kind of burgundy, pinky wine color that we put on first. Okay, so once that's done, and now you can see obviously, wow, there's a big space there. We don't want that big space. We're going to go back to our medium shader brush 2. We're going to go on to the last color, which is this lovely deep red color. We're just going to take a little bit. We don't want too much. And again, we're just going to dab in the corner and down a little bit. Okay? So you're just kind of filling in kind of half of it in an angled way, but not too much. Just a little red. And once again, clean that brush. I swear, I should just buy like 5 different makeup sets so I have brushes without having to clean them, but I think that would be cheating. So then go back to your highlighter, the highlighting powder, and just a little bit more on top so that the red is toned down a little bit. But bring it across now so it's coming into the center and down into the corner of your eye, because soon we're gonna blend. Okay, so we're going to take our medium shaper brush and we're going to go back to that original lovely burgundy color, the number 2 that you can see here, and we're just going to up onto the top line, gently blend together with the purple, because we're going to be blending very shortly. And then we're going to take it down here as well. So we've got a little tap, 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 tap into the inner side of our eye where we didn't put the red. Okay, so pop that in your cup to let it start to clean itself off, because you may come back to it if you're going to use it under your eye. So now we're going to take our contour brush 9 and we're going to start to blend, and we're going to just do this by going backwards and forwards with tiny little circles all the way across the eye. Okay, so now this one looks like really messy compared to this one. So we're going to take a cotton bud and we're just going to clean up. This is why you put the primer slightly higher. We're just going to clean up the area so that it matches your other eye. You may need 1 or 2 cotton buds to do this, because as I said, these are very dark pigments. So really you want to take it to it so it's on your socket line, and that's it. When you can feel the bone, that's where you want your line. Okay, so now you're going to go back to your contour brush. Well, contour brush, it's an eyelash and eyebrow brush 12. Okay, and we're just going to take that dark purple again, and we're just going to go over that line one more time to give it the last bit of definition that we need. But remember to stick to the line. You're not colouring in this part here. We've already done this, now that's done. Okay, so that should make sure your line is nice. Now go back to your highlighter brush. What have I done with you? There you are. And take some highlighter and just put it on the top. So we've got that nice shimmer. And now use that brush just to blend across. To blend in the line a little bit so it's not as heavy. Then we're going to take our final brush, which is our finally an actual blending brush 7, to sweep that highlighter in little circles. Round we go. So we've now got that nice gap, but we've still got the in the middle shape. Okay. So you're more or less finished with your eyeshadow now, so I'm going to take this off and just tidy up the bits of pigment that have fallen with a cotton bud. Okay, and now, if I don't blow my nose at least once per video, I've been taken over by a person, by someone else. Or I tell you what, if I don't blow my nose during a video, I'm in some kind of hostage situation and I'm signalling for help. Because I live with the AC on, and without wiping my nose every once in a while, I would just be a snotty mess. Okay, so we're going to take our eyeliner now. Our liquid eyeliner. And we're not going for a very defined look with this one, so we're just going to follow the outer side of the eyeshadow that we've just placed on. And because you had the masking tape, you should see a very, very straight edge line that you can just gently go across. Follow the line right down into the corner of the under eye, and then fill it in a little in the corner, and then right down into the corner of your inner eye for a little extra definition. And that is your top eye finished. If you want, you can take your finger and just smudge it a little to make sure that everything's blended how you like. I always find your finger is far more effective than the best brushes because we can control them ever so slightly better. But yeah, I'm happy that that's equal. So now here we're going to take our purple eyeliner if you have one. If you don't, use the purple that we've been using on the palette, and if you want that extra sparkle, the purple one down is a shimmer, so you could use that and it will just go just a little bit. But all we're going to do is just stick very, very close to the lash line of your under eye, because obviously we want the statement eyeliner to be at the top, not the bottom. Go right into the corner, so it's on your lash line, not under your lash line or on top of your lash line and in your eye, but into your lash line. And then we're going to go back to Beth's favourite brush, the blending brush, medium shade brush 2. I feel like I've cheated on it now. I can't even remember its name and I use it all the time. Okay, so what we're going to do is take that original number 2, nice burgundy colour, and just quickly over the purple. and then under the eyeliner. Just bring the under eye and the upper eye together. Okay, so the last thing to do is mascara. Now, you don't need to watch me do that, so I'm going to do that and I'll be back in a couple of minutes. Okay, so now I'm back and I have mascara. Hopefully you do too, unless you're just watching this and not going out, and then the last couple of seconds were for nothing. We're nearly finished for today. Now, these last two things are completely optional. They are up to you. I've recently got my hands on this universal holographic stick, and I honestly, it's one of the best things that's happened to me in my life, right up there with meeting my husband, getting our first dog, and buying our own house. It's that life-changing. I'll put a link to the description in the description box, because I swear, it just makes your cheeks go, yeah. So, you're going to take it here, if you want, in like an L shape, on both sides of your cheeks. And if you want to be a bit daring, just above where you put your eyeshadow. And then gently rub it in. When I say gently, I mean gently. You want to still be able to see it. Same on both cheeks. Make sure it's in the same place and you're not getting it into any of those fine lines. If you've put it above your eye, make sure you're going upwards with your finger, like this, to blend it in, because you do not want it to go into the eyeshadow you've put on. It should be going up into your eyebrows. And if you're a similar age to me, you'll have 90s eyebrows, so you'll have a nice lot of space there to put. Lots of people say to me, you have so much space to put eyeshadow on, and I'm like, no, I was just a teenager in the 90s and I have no eyebrows. Okay, so once you've done that, you can take your small fan brush and back to your highlighter that we used before, and just a little on your cheeks to set the holographic powder, because it does the same thing. To set the holographic stick. My bad. Again, no coffee. I shouldn't do these before I haven't had my coffee. Okay, now if it were me and I were going out, I personally wouldn't put any lipstick on, because I think this eye is dramatic enough without lipstick. So I would just go for something like this, which is by Catrice, and it's a volumizing lip booster. It doesn't boost your lips, it doesn't volumize your lips, but it does give you a nice tingle, so you feel like it has. And it's cheap, so it doesn't really matter. And it does make your lips very shiny. And the best part is it stays on for quite a long time. You don't have to top it up very often, even if you're drinking, which I'm not at the moment because, you know, daytime. Might be later. Okay, so that's it. That's the Rioja wine look done. So I'll just come in so you can see it. I hope you've had fun today, and if there are any colour combinations you'd like to see, leave it in the comment box below and I will add you to my list. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you next time. Take care and bye bye.